we are about ready to do texture fetching. So over here on the top monitor, well, not that, but this, um, I've been looking up a little cheat sheet of WebGL2 stuff, and it looks like we can get the size of a texture using texture size, and that'll make it a little bit nicer because then we won't have to have a uniform value that'll store the width and height, which we'd have to then track and update. Now that is going to get us more entrenched into making it harder to use, I guess, WebGL1, if that's what we want to call it. It'll get us more entrenched into being very committed to WebGL2 because now the client-side JavaScript code that we've written has kind of been structured to assume that we have, access to this texture size command, and therefore when we create our little package that stores the texture information for uploading to the GPU and like synchronizing our client-side array with the texture on the GPU side, we're not going to worry about synchronizing uniforms that store the width and height, right? So I got to think, well, that's less code to write, so that's good, but do I really want to entrench myself in this? Because if I do this, if I commit myself to doing it this way, then I'm definitely stuck. There's no going back to WebGL1. Well, let's think about it for a second. Oh yeah, I'm using integer textures, and the whole algorithm that I eventually want to do relies on integer textures, and WebGL1 does not have integer textures. And you have to do like a hack to like use texture sampling as an integer texture in WebGL1. Do I really want to like make it so much harder on myself to use an antiquated technology? Yeah, no, I don't. Okay, so I thought about it. We're just going to commit ourselves to assuming that this is available, and we're not going to look back. We're going to keep on doing WebGL2, and we are not looking back to WebGL1. We're ditching that by the wayside. Okay, so since we do have this texture size, and the LOD, I believe, is level of detail, and we're going to have only 0 because we did not make any maps to the texture, because, right, we're using this texture to encode binary information, right? We're using the texture in an unconventional way. I say unconventional, but it's actually a very common unconventional way to use textures to like encode other information, right? Because all it is a whole bunch of bits, right? And if you're doing graphics programming, you're used to doing low-level stuff, so you understand, oh, texture, it's just a collection of bits, right? Oh, maybe I want to use those bits for something else besides the image, right? Okay, so let's go and mess around with our shader code. So this is the fragment shader, and we want to get the texture size. And what's a really quick way to get okay, so what we'll do is we'll get the texture bounds, the texture size in pixels, and then if the fragment coordinate is within bounds of the texture, then we'll just paint like a solid color or something. And in frag vertex color, shouldn't we have a GL? There's something like a fragment position or something like that. I forgot what it's called. I'm gonna go over to my notes really quick. So I don't know what it's called. So I'm just gonna write fragment. Oh, that's not gonna find me anything. Fragment position. Frag position. Frag pause. frag and then underscore position, or frag pause like that, frag pause and frag pause. Okay, so I think it's like glfrag position or glfragcord, but it could depend on your version of OpenGL. So let's fragment position OpenGL. Okay, it's called glfragcord. So I think glfragcord is built in, but we're just gonna read over this really quick. Story time, I guess. Sorry, I don't really have one of those nice story voices. The only thing good about my voice is I sound like a complete nerd. So like, you know, you walk into the job interview and they're like, "Man, he sounds like a nerd. Hired." Like, well, not quite like that, but I know the stereotype works in my favor in some aspects. In other aspects, not so much, because it's an annoying voice, so I apologize. Available only in fragment language. Okay, so only in fragment language, so it's saying that only in a fragment shader, which makes sense. glfragcord contains the window relative coordinates of the current fragment. That's exactly what we want, because we don't want normalized coordinates, like the 0 to 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Normalized coordinates are actually -1 to 1, because they're called, I believe they're called normalized device coordinates, abbreviated NDC, and 0 is in the center of the screen. So glfragcord is an input variable that contains the window relative coordinate xyz, and then 1 divided by w. I don't know why it's 1 divided by w. Values for the fragment. If multi-sampling, this value can be for any location within the pixel, or for one of the fragment samples. This value is the result of fixed functionality that interpolates primitives. I'm sorry, I'm a slow reader. So this is important, I think. glfragcord may be redeclared with the additional layout qualifier identifies origin upper left or pixel center integer. So I remember this. So do we want to just modify glfragcord to make it operate in a more graphics friendly way with that origin upper left? Or do we want to or do we just want to remember to flip the coordinates every time? I like not to get fancy, so previously I had favored, you know, just remembering to flip those coordinates every time. But I don't know, I'm kind of feeling the origin upper left would help me out, make my life easier. Assumes a lower left origin. Okay, so by default it's lower left, right? So that's why everything's Bizarro world. Yeah, I would much more like the origin upper left, just because that's how I usually do graphics, right? That's how HTML5 canvas works as well. So for like creating this canvas adapter when we're trying to flip out one's code for another, it would be a lot easier to flip out one's code for another if we have the same origin on our data. So yeah, let's figure out how to use the origin upper left. And I'm going to go back into my notes. And origin upper left. Origin upper left. Paste line, and then origin upper left spelled correctly. A little note to let me know I spelled it correctly. That's just a note, because origin upper left looks pretty important. I'm just going to put it in my notes. And then maybe just Okay, I'll put this, so I'm gonna... So just a little note about what glfragcore does pertaining to the origin upper left. So if I search my source code, I know what that's all about. And for that fragment position here, I realize, right, it's glfragcord is what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna put that. And do we have a shortcut that is already named glfragcord? We probably do. Yes, we already do. So it's just, this was just an aspect of me not remembering what it's called. Because it's been a while since I've done this. I'm not an expert at this at all. My background is actually, I have an art degree in 3D computer animation. And once upon a time, I wrote a hell of a lot of Max script. And I can no longer log into my old channel because all popular companies like to lock you out of your account if you don't log in after a few years. Even if you know the fucking password, it's very annoying. Try not to rant too much about that. I'm just not happy. Okay, so let's see how to use that origin upper left, because I'm gonna guess, you know, there's some way to like put that into the code. And what I'd like to do is just see it in context. So, so here, this looks like how it's used. I don't think I have to learn anything else. So, layout origin upper left in vec4 glfragcord, right? But we might want to read a little bit more because, you know, a little learning can be a dangerous thing. But at the same time, you know, there's more knowledge than one could consume in a whole lifetime. So it's a gray area. Okay, fragment shader coordinate origin. It's a built-in variable. Window space. 2 layout qualifiers can affect this. These are specified by redeclaring the predefined variable. Redeclaring the predefined variable, because it's saying it's already built in. So this, sorry, you can't see this. Redeclaring, so this variable, glfragcore, right, it's built in. So when you do this layout qualifier, technically you're redeclaring it. That's why it's saying redeclaring up here. The qualifier... we'll have the origin 0, 0 in the upper left. Yep, okay, that's where I want it, upper left. This does not change the Z or W of the glfragcore value. Oh, that's fine. First of all, I'm not even going to mess with those, and if I did, usually I think of Z as in towards the camera or out towards the camera, so like that's all good. Yeah, I like things that have Z being like up or depth, and so you keep the standard coordinate system that you're used to in school with the X and Y, and then Z is like into and out of the paper. There's other sometimes you'll run into other systems. I think it's Maya that does like something weird like YZ and then X is depth, or maybe Y is depth, and I hate that. I don't know why people do it that way. Okay, yeah, so we have that, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take the layout origin upper left, and we're just going to paste it here, and what we'll do is we'll just origin upper left snip, origin, I'm just making a shortcut entry right now, so like over here, I'm just making a note that oh, that's the wrong screen. You can't see there. Nope, nope, nope. Left. Left, right. Left and right. Don't know the difference. Origin, upper left. Snip, and then origin, upper left. Snip. And then I might just want to have something like, if I abbreviate it too much, it might just be worth, you know, memorizing this, right? So I found that making very shorthand abbreviations does not help me in terms of creating this big index of things that I to aid my memory, right? So like, but I'll do it anyway. So like, I could do origin upper left snip like that, origin upper left snip, and then we could also be more specific. Like, what is this kind of doing? Like, what am I going to search for next time if I want to do this? And like, what I really want to do is like, make texture origin top left, make origin top left, make top left, and make top left, and then we could be much more vague about it, right? We could just say top left if I don't have a shortcut that's called top left. And we have some type of like symbol, I'm gonna guess. So I'm gonna top left, top left. So I'm gonna go find where this symbol is, and I'm gonna guess this is like a extended ASCII symbol, as I'm gonna guess what that is. Yeah, that looks like a top left, extended ASCII. So we'll do top left. Like, I've rarely used these shortcuts for this, so we'll just keep that in there, right? We just added more specifiers to top left, and then we'll go find the top left here, and we'll just make a note to pick top left dash glsl, or we could say frag shader, or extended ASCII. Right. And then down here, we can do top left frag shader, and then top left frag shader, top left frag shader. That way, if we can't remember exactly what we phrase this, we know that the general idea is top left, and that'll help us, right? And we could also do frag shader origin, frag shader origin, frag shader origin, frag shader origin. And we'll put those synonyms in here as well. And that way we just have, if we come back 6 months from now and we're like, God, I swear I've done this before, we can search our shortcuts and find the exact piece of information we're looking for, rather than have to do an internet search and, control, like, this is a lot of stuff, right? There was just one piece of data that I wanted out of here, right? And it's this at the very end, so if I was to open this up and then want to read all of this, it would take me forever. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go back to our code here, and let's just try to add that in. So we have our uniforms, and this is really a layout qualifier. We have our layout qualifiers up here at the top, so we might as well put them with the other ones. And this is an input, so I think I want to group my inputs and my outputs together. So I'll do something like this. So just try to just make the best use of the fact that it's like meta commenting in a way, right? Because these comments won't end up in the source code when the shader is compiled. Okay, so one more input, right? That's going to be redeclaring the frag coordinate, and I don't know how I should align that. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, let's rerun this, make sure we haven't broken anything, because we're mucking around. Timer's almost going off. I'm going to reset that and start a new video soon. Okay, up at the top, if we refresh this, did we break any? We broke something. What did we break? Origin upper left, invalid layout qualifier. Come on. So I'm going to take this. There might be a different way, because I was looking at OpenGL, not WebGL, so there could possibly be a different way to do this in WebGL2. So looking at WebGL2, and I'm going to start a new video. Hold on.